If you are not up to 18, do not watch this video, okay? I don't know, I feel like most of us grew up with this hidden shame of our body. Like, we don't embrace our body. Some of us have never looked at ourselves, and when I'm talking about looking at ourselves, you know what I'm talking about. We don't know how it is. We don't know what it looks like. Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Victoria Ajayi. How long will I keep doing this? Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Victoria Ayodele Fash. If you're new here, welcome, and to all my returning subscribers, thank you guys so much. I am so grateful to have you guys here as always. So today I am so excited. It's Baba that is so sweet to me. Anyway, so now let's get serious. Today we want to discuss something very important, something that a lot of people shy away from discussing. A lot of people don't want to talk about it because usually, especially in Nigeria or in the part of the world where I come from, people usually shy away from this topic. I don't know why. I think it's a culture thing. It's something that you're supposed to keep sacred, you know, and information that's supposed to follow you to the grave, something that, you know, you should be ashamed of in some cultures. I guess that's why it's not always talked about, but Charlie, I am here to talk about it. So if you are upset, it's better you click off of this video right now, because we're about to talk about some juicy topic. Okay, today we're talking about the wedding night. Honestly, I didn't ever see myself talking about this particular topic, probably because of what I just talked about. You know, the culture here is different. You know, we don't talk about sex, we don't talk about anything related to sex, not to ourselves, not to the audience, not even to our children. And look at where we are today. Okay, so because of some YouTube guidelines, we don't want to violate so that our videos don't get flagged. So I won't be using the S word. So we'll be calling it something else. I don't know, do whatever it is that you understand, but of course you understand what I'm talking about. So we're talking about the wedding night. We're talking about what to expect on your wedding, in your wedding night, or on your wedding night, I don't even know. During your wedding night. Yeah, so just some things around that area, especially if it's your first time, you know, doing the do with your partner, or you know, if it's been a while since you did it. You know, of course, if you've been celibate before you got married, you know, maybe it's been years or it's been months, you know, since you know, came close to, since you did the do, since you did the do. Or if it is your first time, we'll be talking about what to expect, what to do, what not to do, and all of those good stuff. Okay. I am spoiled. Anyway, okay, let's get into it. Now, let's even talk about the wedding night itself. Now, so guys, please see, let me just tell you something. In case, I'm sure you probably already have hinted, you've been told, or you've heard this before. See, we all have that dream of our wedding night, how our husband will help us to take off our wedding dress, how, you know, we'll both be together, you know, in our bed suits, and you know, it will just be this romantic, you know, stream of love and affection and all of those things. Ladies, guys, whoever you are, I'm sorry to bust your bubble. The chance that you and your husband are going to do anything, like anything at all, even like kissing, romance, whatever it is, the chance that you guys are going to do it on your wedding night is very slim, like very tiny. Because, you know, you guys are going to get tired. It's been a long, see, your wedding day, the wedding didn't happen on your wedding day. It happened months before your wedding, because there's been months of planning, of preparing, of running at and skelter, trying to get things done. There's a lot of stress, there's a lot of headache, there's a lot of things your body, your mind, your spirit and soul has gone through. So that on that wedding day again, you've danced, you've smiled for so long, you know, your mouth is paining you, your legs are quivering because you have danced, your legs are your legs are paining you, your body is aching and everything. You're going to leave the wedding reception exhausted. If you have a proper Nigerian wedding, not that maybe you went to the courthouse and you know, you guys went to the eatery afterwards, you ate and everything, you still have energy now. But for a kind of wedding that I had, that if you watch my wedding video, you know that it was you had to dance. I danced to the point where my legs were telling me, if you dare dance anymore. Literally, when I got to the hotel, my legs were shivering, like I couldn't walk. My legs were shivering. I've never been in so much pain ever in my legs. The chance that you guys are going to do anything is very low, because you guys would definitely be exhausted. I mean, after the wedding, we even had plans, okay? So we didn't want to stay in the same hotel we stayed in before the wedding, because myself, my girls, and our friends all stayed in the same hotel. So we felt like there'll be a lot of distractions. You know, our friends will be around, we'll not have time for ourselves, we need to attend to them and everything. So we wanted to move to a different hotel, you know, after the wedding. My brothers and sisters, after the wedding, number one, there's traffic in Lagos, especially if you have your wedding in Lagos. So the venue to the hotel we used was just like less than 10 minutes away, but we ended up spending almost 40 or 45 minutes just to be able to get to, you know, the hotel, to pack our load and then get on the road and start going, you know, to somewhere that's supposed to be like 45 minutes journey, and then which would, because of traffic, eventually be like 2 or 3 hours journey, and it was already like 8 p.m. in the night. So it was just so stressful. So we decided, let us just stay here for tonight. You know, tomorrow morning we're going to check out, and then we're going to go to the other hotel, because we were both so exhausted. Okay, so number one, the hotel plan we had to even cancel and just come back and stay in the same hotel we stayed before the wedding. So we just went in there, and you know, see, there was just this unspoken understanding. There was just this unspoken understanding between us. Like, there was this good night, see you tomorrow morning, by the grace of God. Of course, when we got in, there were a lot of things we needed to pack, because we needed to check out the following morning. So we had to pack, repack, unpack, and all of those things. You know, people had to take their stuff from, you know, our rooms. We had to make sure, because people will be traveling, we had to make sure we go to see our guests and thank them, and you know, just to make sure that we just say a proper goodbye to everyone. I didn't, my husband did, because they asked me. They knew that I was so tired. So of course we went in the hotel, and afterwards we had to what did we do again? We counted money. You know, money is important. I'm not even ashamed to say it. It's very, very important. Also, because you want to make sure that the money is in the right bag. It's not in the bag that you will leave in another, you know, in a room or something like that. So of course we had to, you know, do all of those. We had to get something to eat, because on your wedding day you are not going to eat. I'm sorry to say, hey, they just took the lights. Oh God, but you guys can still see me. That's why I chose the strategic position. So let me just adjust this a bit. So the likelihood that you're even going to eat during the event is very, very slim. So of course, I've spent too much time on this topic. So the likelihood that you're even going to eat is very, very slim. So we didn't eat, we did not eat anything. So we had, my mom packed some food for us, we took to the hotel. So we just got there, we heated it up, because I don't eat cold food, and then we ate. So when we ate, we just, I had my bath. Of course, we had to freshen up, we had our bath, and I was the first to have my bath. I went to sleep. I did not even know when my husband came to the bed. Like, I did not. The next thing I shall know was that it was morning. That was all. And you know, so it wasn't even a discussion. It was just an unspoken understanding between us that this night is to rest. And we did rest. And of course, you know, the following day we checked out, went to other room, and you know, things happened. But what am I trying to say is that, see, that day is a stressful day. Like, you guys will probably be so exhausted to even do anything, and especially if it's your first time, you don't even want to do it when you are tired. You don't want to do it. This is an advice. If it's your first time and you're so exhausted and you know you are physically tired, don't even attempt it, because it's going to be a disaster. Because normally the disaster is almost inevitable, not to even talk of when it's, you know, and all of those things. So you have to make sure that you are rested, you know, in your mind, in your spirit, in your body, in your soul, so that because I'm telling you, doing the do is not a physical activity alone. It's a mental activity. It's an emotional activity. It's an activity that requires you to be present mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, everythingly. You know, it requires you to be present. It's not just a physical, you know, activity. Okay, so of course you're going to be tired. So that wedding night thing, all those fantasy you have in your mind, just take it off. It's probably not going to happen. And I've spent 8 minutes talking about this one point. Let's move on. Now let's talk about it, you know, properly. Let's talk about it properly. So now, the first thing I felt would probably be a shock to you on the night is, maybe not a shock, or maybe something that will be awkward. The first awkward thing that will probably happen is that, especially if you guys have been, you know, you've been celibate or you've been abstaining, okay, you might have difficulty when it comes to getting naked in front of the person that you're married to for the first time, it's definitely going to be awkward. So what I would advise is that, see, you have to, especially as ladies that are born in Nigeria. I don't know, I feel like most of us grew up with this hidden shame of our body. Like, we don't embrace our body. Some of us have never looked at ourselves, and when I'm talking about looking at ourselves, you know what I'm talking about. We don't know how it is, we don't know what it looks like, because we grew up with that consciousness of that part is not supposed to be associated with, okay? Just when you want to, just for peeing and doing the other stuff, okay, that's all that part is meant for. So we are not used to our body. We don't go naked in front of the mirror to admire our body. And this video, please, it's specifically for female. I don't know about the male stuff. You know, maybe you guys will do a video on that, but this is particularly for female. So guys, if this is making you cringe or stuff like that, probably shouldn't be watching this. But if you are confident in it, and this will really help you, you know, in also helping your partner, helping your wife, you know, when the time comes. So what was I saying? Yeah, so you need to, before you get married, you need to start to appreciate your body, to look at your body, get to know your body, I'm not saying that you do anything inappropriate, but just look at yourself in the mirror, get used to looking at yourself, you know, in your bed suits and admiring yourself. When you do that, when the time comes, it will not be so difficult for you to do that in front of the person that you'll be spending the rest of your life with. Of course, it might still be awkward. You might have to go to the bathroom, do all of those things, then come out and try to, you know, of course, all of those things it's going to be awkward, no matter how much you don't love your body, but it's going to reduce the level of awkwardness, you know. I heard of a story of a lady that she and her husband had issues because she still couldn't, you know, even after weeks of being married, she still couldn't, you know, strip in front of, you know, her husband. So let that be something when, of course, you have your wedding dates, even before then, like, let it be a habit where you look at yourself in the mirror, you admire your body, you admire who you are, you admire every other thing, and be okay with it, so that when that time comes, it will not be so awkward, okay? So the next awkward thing is, but before we even go into this, another advice that I would also give is that please plan your honeymoon. Now, I know that, you know, a lot of expenses goes into, you know, planning a wedding, so most likely you have spent everything that you have trying to plan this wedding, but please, even if it's just a 2 days, not even 1 day, even if it's a 2 nights you have to spend in the hotel, even if you cannot afford to have the honeymoon of your dream, or if you plan on going traveling, maybe you don't, you know, some people plan on doing their honeymoon a year before, but I would advise that at least after your wedding, you guys need time to rest, you need time to reset, you need time to be alone together, you need time to relax together. So even if it's just for 2 days, you go and, you know, find a hotel to stay in, somewhere out of your house, not your house. Go out of your house. Of Nepal. I was getting hot. Just make sure that you leave your house, you leave your environment, and you guys find a place to go and just, you know, have some fun, to relax and to, you know, face what you're about to enter into. So please and please, it's very, very important that you take out some time to have your semi-honeymoon or your honeymoon or whatever it is. So it's very, very important. Now, the next thing I'm going to talk about is that to prepare for you know, meeting with your partner, your husband, you need to, you know, as a lady, you need to make sure that you are okay. You know, once you admire yourself, you need to make sure that everything that needs to be groomed is groomed, everything that needs to be, you know, taken off is taken off, and, you know, try to get some nice wears, you know, underneath, just to make it more appealing or more pleasurable for your partner. Okay, so that's also important, that you try to appear in a way that would make the whole process easy. It's not like, you know, there's a way that you will appear that you won't have to do a lot of romance to get the thing, you know, up and running. So you need to also make sure that, you know, on your wedding night, or, you know, before your wedding night, you try to buy some lines of sexy stuff, wears, you know, underwears that would help you to make the process easy. Okay, that's all I'm going to say about it. Now, the next thing I'm going to talk about is actually about the activity itself. Now, if it is your first time, or if it has been a while, like if you've been celibate for years or even months before you do it again, especially if it is your first time, girl, it's gonna hurt. I'm not even going to sugarcoat it for you. You will cry. Maybe not cry. It depends on your pain threshold. Some of us, we have a lower pain threshold. Some people have a higher pain threshold, okay? But if your threshold is low or medium or low, like some of us, the likelihood that, you know, when I say pain threshold, you can know, like when, you know, something that will happen, maybe someone is struck with pain and somebody else is struck with pain, the way you react, you'll be able to know if you have a higher threshold or something. So if something that hurts other people don't hurt you, it means that you have a higher pain threshold. But if you're the kind of person that any little bite, you are crying, ha, auntie, wasuku, you will cry. Because this is I don't even know how to explain it. It's a place that is not used to intrusion, okay? So it is going to hurt, okay, because there will be a lot of resistance, okay, because this is a tiny place that something, you know, that is not so tiny wants to enter into. And it also depends on, you know, the size of other things, but let's not get into that. But even regardless of it, it's a place that it's sealed, okay, it is sealed. It will require force, it will require pressure to be able to, you know, get into it. So because of that, there's going to be pain. It's gonna hurt you. See, forget all those movies you are watching that, you know, it's her first time doing it and she's like, ouch, and you know it's inside. The day like, sister, it's not a matter of ouch. Don't let me dwell too much in this topic. It's really going to hurt you. So please get your mind prepared. I know people, when we're doing my counseling section, my pastor actually he made a story of this lady who said she would never ever do it again. And it was an issue because after the first time they attempted, she didn't want to do it again because that's how painful it can get. Like, and it depends, you know, the hymen is different for other people. It's smaller for other people than it is for other. So for some other people it is sealed. So it depends on even how your body is, how it is. So it might be even more painful, so much painful for you. It was a guy that was saying that he and his wife, when they got married, for the first 1 month, he was so excited that, you know, it wasn't that hard, you know, and all of that. In his mind, he thought they were doing it. Especially if the two of you are virgins, okay? It is likely that you would think is what happened was that he thought they were doing it, but apparently, he has not even gotten to the corridor of the thing. So of course, yes, so it's gonna hurt. It's really gonna hurt. And the next reality is that, see, you might not get it the first time. You might not get it the first time. Like I said, and I don't want to overemphasize on it, but it should be re-emphasized that place is not used, no intrusion has ever gotten into it. So, or, you know, it has been a long time since an intrusion was gotten into it. I don't even know the English I'm speaking, but you understand what I'm saying. So because of that, the likelihood that you guys, you might attempt it, you may not get it in your first, second, third attempts. Like, it's not that sometimes, you know, it might not be that you are not getting it. It might just be that the pain is too much. You cannot take it. So, you know, it might not just go through. Let me just put it like this, because I don't know how to say all these things without saying the word exactly. It might not go through at the first point, like at your first try, it might not go through. And the next thing is that even if it goes through, the likelihood that you'll be bruised is very high, okay? So it might get to a point whereby you might not be able, I'm talking about the lady now, the men, they don't have problem. For the ladies, you might not even be able to, you know, do it for a week or so because you need to get healed, okay? So it's going to hurt you. That's all. And it might take time, so you need to be patient. Don't be in a hurry. Don't try to start, you know, don't be in a hurry, okay? So those are some of the realities. It might not get through the first week, okay? But just keep trying, give yourself time, and, you know, little by little you're going to get it, okay? So don't put yourself under too much pressure, or don't feel bad because you are unable to, you know, get through, or it's unable to get through in your first or second trial, okay? So it's normal for it to be like that, okay? And another reality, awkward or harsh reality, is that, see, all those expectations you have, you know, movies again, where, you know, so their first time and they 1 hour, 2 hours. Whoa. The likelihood that the first time will not last more than a minute is very high. And also because, especially if, you know, the two of you it's your first time doing it, so Oga might, you know, it might just pour during the first trial. Please, if you are not up to 18, you are not supposed to be watching this video. If you are not up to 18, do not watch this video, okay? Okay, actually, even if you are not ready to marry, if you've not seen husband, don't watch this, and you are not ready to, you know, be doing the do, don't watch this video. So if you have this expectation that, oh, we're gonna do it all night long, all night long, Kikini, it might not be that way. It might not be that. In short, it's most likely not going to. See, I can almost put my next salary on it that it is not going to, because like I said, it's a new thing to your body. Your body needs time to adjust, okay? So, you know, it might not last as long as you thought it would, okay? So that is also a harsh reality that we have to deal with, okay? So don't put yourself under too much pressure. Give yourself time to rest. You know, sometimes I don't want to give example, but you know, sometimes even if it manages to enter, you might say, okay, this one I have done this night is okay, we'll continue tomorrow. That's how, because if you overdo it, you are going to get bruised, and when you get bruised, you need time to heal. It's painful. You don't want to be in that situation at all, okay? So yeah, so all those mindsets or expectations you have, you may need to debunk a lot of them before, you know, the night of your wedding, okay? Now, this is more like an advice, okay? Please keep it simple. If it's your first time, or if it has been a while, you know, since it happened, the first time you'll be doing it is not the time to be trying, put my leg up in the sky, put the other one behind. No, keep it simple, keep it missionary, keep it straight up. Because, like I said, you don't want to rush things. You're going to hurt yourself. The lady now, see, for guys, like I said, they don't have problem. It's you that you will suffer the pain, okay? Unless maybe you like pain, I don't know. But what I would say is, try to keep it simple. Try to keep it, you know, your first time should be simple. Don't rush it. Your first weeks, cry. Don't let your, see, it's going to get used to the intrusion little by little. So you need to give yourself time, okay? So when your body starts to get used to the, you know, the intrusion, you know, after like a few weeks, you can now start, you know, if you like, put your leg on top of the AC and put the other one, you know, at the doorpost. Whatever you like, you can do then, because your body has gotten used to it. But before it does, there'll be times that you don't think you're going to go through with this anymore, but you need to just keep doing it until your body gets used to it, okay? The next thing I'm going to talk is that lubricant is your best friend. You cannot see. If it's your first time, you cannot afford not to have lube with you. You cannot afford it. Even people that it's not even their first time. Some people, when they give birth, they don't get as wet as much, so they have to use it. You have to use it. And even for some ladies, like, you know, some ladies, for instance, now, you know, sometimes before your period or after your period, when it's days to your period, you might not get as wet as you would want to, or as you usually are, or after your period, it might not be so. So you need lube. You need it. Sometimes you might be in the mood, but the place is not getting moist. So you need lubricant. It will help you to ease the intrusion. It will help you to ease the penetration so that you don't get bruised, you know. The place, you need to make sure that, you know, the place is properly prepared before the intrusion happens, or else it's my end in disaster, okay? It might end in a lot of pain, like a lot of pain. So please make sure that you get it. See, have it before the D-Day. Have it in your room, or have it in your hotel bag. You know, let it be. It is a vital part of your honeymoon experience, okay? So make sure that you have it. It will really help and ease the process. You know, if you do it with the place not being properly moist, it's going to end up bruised, and you know, you might end up not being able to do it for days until you get healed. So you don't want that disaster. So make sure that you are properly moisted, okay? The next point is, see, foreplay is important. Yes, it is very, very important. It is not I'm in the mood something, yeah, let's open and do it. No. You have to make sure that, especially for the ladies. So guys, listen, you need to put her in the mood. You need to make sure that all the sweet things that she likes, you are doing it to her. You are tickling her every now and then. You are giving her hints that, see, there's going to be a ministration this night. You know, you make sure that, you know, you are putting her in the mood. You know, they say guys are moved by what they see. You know, you see the and you are arising or arising or arising. But for the ladies, they need to hear it. They move more by what we hear and, you know, what we feel. So you need to make sure we're emotional beings, okay? So you need to make sure that you are telling us sweet things. You are, you know, if it's texts, you know, you are texting her, you are telling her beautiful things about her body, about, you know, what you want to do to her and stuff like that, okay? So I don't want to dwell more into it. Just make sure that you get her prepared. And when you are now about to do it, make sure that you don't just, it's not a matter of just open leg and enter. Let there be, you know, foreplay. Let there be some kissing, some romancing, some touching, some everything before the action. And also, if it's the first time, you want to make sure that, you know, your thing is not the first thing to enter the thing, okay? You might want to try, you know, using, you know, your fingers and stuff like that before. My husband keeps turning back. I don't got it. So carry my brush. If it's the first time, okay, you want to make sure that you don't, you know, especially if you are heavily endowed, okay, you want to make sure that you try to ease her into it by using other parts of your body, okay? Okay, so please don't just, you're going to end up, you know, cheating yourself, because if she gets bruised, nothing is no show for you, no show for you. Okay, so the next point is don't be afraid. Now, I know with everything I've said, a lot of people might be agitated and stuff like that. See, it's normal. I don't want to paint that thing that, you know, media has painted in her head, that is going to go all smooth and lovely and everything. It's not, to be honest. But you also need to know that it's just a little time. The pain is just for a little time. Afterwards, you get to enjoy yourself for the rest of your life, okay? So, and it also depends on your pain threshold. If you have a low pain threshold, you are just going to endure it. You'll not say because of the pain you're not going to get married. No. You just need to make sure that, you know, you get mentally prepared. If you follow all the steps, you are properly lubricated, you are not forcing things, you are taking it slowly, you know, and all of those things, you will be fine, okay? And the last point I'm going to give is communicate with your partner. Don't be afraid to talk to your partner about how you're feeling. If you are in pain, let him know. If there is a particular way is entering that is not corresponding with the way your body was moved, let him know that this is hurting me. Can we try something different? So communicate. When you're in pain, let him know. Don't just, you know, try to say, hey, it's my responsibility as a woman and stuff like that. And the poor guy himself is thinking that he's satisfying you and he doesn't know that it's hurting you. So when he is, please make sure that you let him know that, babe, can we stop for today? Can we, you know, continue tomorrow or something? I'm tired, I'm exhausted and all of that. I mean, he's going to understand, because this is something that is new to you, you know, especially if your partner is already an experienced person, you know. So you need to make sure that the two of you are communicating, even if it's your first time, okay? Even if it is your first time, you want to make sure that I'll beat you. Fish. You want to make sure that you guys are communicating about, you know, the whole process, okay? So that it will actually make it easy for you. You don't have to, you know, it will make everything easy for the two of you, so that he knows what he's supposed to do, where he's supposed to touch, where he's not supposed to touch, where he will touch that will make it, you know, more interesting, where he will touch that will make you lose it, and all of those things. So you know your body better. Nobody knows your body better than you. And in this area, it might not be a part of your body that you are so familiar with, but with time you will get to know, okay? So you need to make sure that you're communicating that to him, that I like it when you do this, but you know, when you do that, it doesn't really work well with me, or I get easily bruised when you do this and stuff like that. You guys need to communicate about your sexual. Like I told you, it is not just a physical activity, it's a mental activity, it's a spiritual activity, it is an emotional activity. It's an activity that requires all of you to be present, okay? So you need to make sure that you guys are communicating, okay? And this is just a bonus point for the ladies. So guys, you can click off now. This is just a bonus point for the ladies. It's okay if you are unable to, you know, splash for a while. Like I said, this is not something that your body is used to, okay? This is not something your body is used to. So it is normal that you might not get to that point of ecstasy and everything, you know. So give yourself time. Don't be too hard on yourself. Actually, I was reading an article that, you know, about 70% of ladies, of women, never, come through penetration. Okay, I've said it. So there are other means for you to, get to that point. So you need to discuss that with your partner. Okay, so don't be too hard on yourself if you don't, splash as soon as you wanted to. Okay, so that's all I'm going to say about this session. If you have any other question, please ask your counselors during your wedding your marriage counseling session. I'm just joking. Of course, you can ask a question in the comments section down below, and if you're married and you have any other advice that you think would help people that are newly married, please make sure that you put that in the comment section down below. I want to hear from you guys. What do you think about this video? Okay, let me go back and wear my church hat, I think. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for joining me. Please make sure you subscribe to this channel. Okay. Let them know that you are a part of this. You have a hand in this.
Great things.
All right, guys. Okay, until we meet again, my name is Victoria Ayodele Fash. I will see you guys in the next video. Bye bye. The place needs to be moist. I know you're going to look. What? Please don't spoil my video. Like I was saying, oh babe.